Hello and welcome to today's Almost Daily Devotion. We are going to be in the Gospel according to Mark chapter 4, and we're going to start with the 26th verse. It goes like this. Then Jesus said, "This is what God's kingdom is like. It's as though someone scattered seeds on the ground, then sleeps and wakes night and day. The seed sprouts and grows, but the farmer doesn't know how. The earth produces crops all by itself. First the stalk, then the head, then the full head of grain. Whenever the crop is ready, the farmer goes out to cut the grain because it's harvest time." He continued, "What's a good image for God's kingdom? What parable can I use to explain it? Consider a mustard seed. When scattered on the ground, it's the smallest of all the seeds on the earth, but when it's planted, it grows and becomes the largest of all vegetable plants. It produces such large branches that the birds in the sky are able to nest in its shade." With many such parables, he continued to give them the word, as much as they were able to hear. He spoke to them only in parables, then explained everything to his disciples when he was alone with them. So I'm someone who does not have a green thumb. I try really hard. I've worked really hard on the snake plant, which requires absolutely no care, and in fact does better when you leave it alone. But it's just something that doesn't come naturally to me. Some people seem to flower. Some people seem to just blossom and can plant anything and make it grow. And I can't do it. I have to have pretty hardy plants. And so the miracle of any plant growing to me is amazing. If I plant something and it grows and flowers and lives, it's literally a miracle. I don't understand how to make it happen consistently over time in a way that is amazing and awesome. And so any plant growing is a miracle. And that's really what God is talking about in this passage. What Jesus is trying to tell them is, you plant these things, you put the seed in the ground and you water them and you tend them, but you don't have really in the end control over how this plant grows, and you can't make it grow and you can't do anything. And at some point you have to give over control of the plant growing to the plant. And it's amazing how it grows from just this itty bitty tiny little seed, a little bit of tiny thing, into this big tall plant that sustains life. Whenever there's a blight of the wheat harvest or the corn harvest, all of us get nervous because we know that means that the grocery store shelves are going to be empty or barer than normal. And so it's amazing how a little thing, a small thing, can have such a huge impact on our lives and on the world. It turns out the little things, the small things, are the most powerful. They're the most potent of the things. And we discount at our own peril the smallness of life. In the end, it's all the small things, all the little things, all the tiny seeds that we plant that end up bearing fruit. God has a special preference for the small things. Throughout the gospel stories, Jesus is constantly paying attention to the one person on the side of the road that nobody else sees, to the woman who is bleeding and it won't stop, to the leper who's been cast aside by society, to the blind man who has sat by the pool for 7 years and nobody has helped him. God continually shows preference, shows extra care for the small things that are cast aside and said that they're not important. And so the details of life, the details of our everyday, are the most important thing. Now, maybe you, like me, have a mouth that runs away with you. You have a mouth that gets a little bit ahead of you, and you spend time at night going, "Oh, I wish I hadn't said that. Or I wish I'd said that in a different way," or whatever. Or maybe you're just not a detailed person and you're goal-oriented, and it's hard for you to see the little things and how they impact another person. Maybe you're wired to go big and you just want to make a huge splash. Whatever it is, keep in mind the small things. Plant the little seeds. There is always time to take it back, to move it to another spot, to kill the weed that has grown because of your negligence or lack of attention to detail. You are small but mighty, small but powerful, small but potent. And while you might feel small, like you're not doing anything, that's the people that God cares about. That's the people that God chooses. Like you, the mustard